How to win big and lose small. Chapter 1, Technical Analysis. For the long-term investor, a sound fundamental analysis is required, but at the same time, we will need to find good entry points, and sometimes technical analysis might tell you that an equity or stock might have some serious but hidden problems that is causing a downtrend that is happening, or impending downtrend that might be happening. And for short-term investors, having a strong technical analysis is important, as you might not wish to hold a stock for more than 3 months. Now, this is John Bollinger. He created a technical trading tool that Laobing loves to use. Bollinger Bands aka B Bands. So what is B Bands? Too long, didn't read. Now let's go into the detail for B Bands. The formula for B Bands. What the hell? Lucky for you, the most decent trading platforms will have B-band calculations as a standard feature already. So what has B-band or technical analysis has got to do with value investing or even trading? Technical analysis has got everything to do with both trading and investing, and ultimately earning money. Because would you rather buy Tesla at $20 or $700? Would you rather buy Amazon at $1,000 or $3,000? Bitcoin at $3,000 or $60,000. Let me show you some real-life examples using Bollinger Bands to explain, and using B-band to do some simple prediction of possible upcoming price actions. There will be some technical terms, and I'll make it simple for general viewers to understand. There are 3 lines here: the top, middle, and the bottom. The middle is of course the moving average. I will not explain these now, but will show you how it functions in the charts later. Now, B-band weave. We need to understand 2 major technical terms. One will be squeeze, which means narrow or trough in the band weave. It is usually the beginning of something drastic. And next will be a bulge. That there's a peak in the bandwidth, we're widening from top and bottom, the end of something which is very low in volatility usually. I'm going to use B-bands on these companies as an example, and I hope you like it. If you do like it, do subscribe, and more such contents will be coming out very often. We'll start with Tesla, and I'll show you how to utilize B-band to predict price actions. Just to inform, I do use a lot of other technical studies and free tools to help me, but as this video is more on Bollinger Bands, I will not go into other technical tools for now. First off will be the squeeze, narrowing in bandwidth, usually the beginning of something drastic. Remember, it's where some form of consolidation happens. Now, and a lot of times, the candle bars at the end of the squeeze will indicate what the next price action will be. Notice the squeeze here with the start of the bulge above the middle average, and then squeeze here, but none of the bars went below the middle. Continued with a bulge, and this is where you see the first bar drops below the middle line, giving you a hint or alert that the trend might be changing. Then the short leaf squeeze here, followed by a bulge. Notice the bull trap. I will admit that it probably will be difficult to notice it's a bull trap, but you can see that it ran up so much only to drop straight down within the day itself, and I would just leave it alone. Okay, so now we see the ending of the bulge here, and then some nice candle bars and forming of a W. So let me stop here to share with you what is this W in Bollinger Band. Bollinger Band W is similar to double bottom, and this is not the perfect example due to the bull trap here, but anyhow, I just want to explain to you W in Bollinger Band terms. There will be 5 points in W, of course, and point 1, you can see here, it dips from midpoint of the B band to point 2, which is a low, and point 3 bounces back to the midpoint of the Bollinger Band, and point 4, it should preferably go similar level or below point 2, but above the Bollinger Bands. Point 5, it will go above point 3, which is the midpoint of W. I've seen various charts set up, which I'll be covering in this video, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next few days. Next, let us take a look at nanofilm technologies, which one of my viewers have requested for. I'll do a simple price action using B-bands and intrinsic value calculation with analysis in the future. Let's zoom into the first actual bulge and squeeze. So at the end of the squeeze, something drastic will begin to happen. So in this case, a drop when forming bulges, and once the green candle bars went above the midpoint, it will signal a safer entry point, followed by a low volatile bulge, then short squeeze with very strong candle bar action before a small bulge, then into this tunnel of death. Now this is forming a very big, what we call a mega bulge here, and it will typically try to go within the B band very quickly, and then there will be a chance of a W forming, which also means it will try to hit midpoint here, then down, then up again. But do note that the midpoint will move down as more trading days drag on as the candle bars are below the midpoint. We cannot expect a very quick W forming. It sometimes will drag 3 months, 4 months, or even longer. So just why investing usually takes some patience. Next is the new darling Modena. Other than squeeze and vouchers, the top line and bottom line sometimes signals immediate price action that will happen within a very short term. You'll see a lot of bars above and below the Bollinger Bands. Almost the whole bar is out of the band, which typically will create a violent reaction to go within the B band before continuing a specific trend. Now do remember, this is not always the case, but a good gauge and a good signal for you to take immediate actions. And for the next price action of Modena, we do see a W formed here, and I would prefer to long Modena and profit from it as we might see new high. Oh wait, we already saw the new high from the W, and we can see a new squeeze forming at the end here, and the candle bars go around the midpoint, and there's no clear signal as it is going into a squeeze, and so depends on how long the squeeze or consolidation will be. We will have to play by ear, as at the end of the squeeze there will be something drastic happening. I'll go through FUTU, Facebook, and NIO next price action prediction quickly, just using Bollinger Bands, and once again the disclaimer for my whole video. And also I'm using purely Bollinger Bands for price prediction in this video, and you most likely will need more tools to increase your accuracy. For FUTU, I gambled by assuming this is the forming of a W. You see here? It is yet to be seen, but for within the next few days we might see a perfect W and let us all profit. And the B here is my entry point, so might not be the safest, but I'm taking a gamble here. Facebook mega bounce with a huge dive, then downtrend continued with a W forming here, then breaking new high, and it's still within uptrend in a very steady mode with the new squeeze coming in. NIOW didn't complete forming at 0.5, then continued downtrend and bounce formed, waiting for squeeze and clearer signal to form. Let's do a quick recap on Bollinger Bands, top line, midpoint, and bottom band. If the bars are outside of the band, it will go within the bands very quickly. In Tesla case, it went sideways and to allow itself to go within the Bollinger Bands. Number 3, we have the squeeze, which is a trial narrowing of the bandwidth and the beginning of something drastic most of the time. Number 4, we have bulge, which is a peak in the bandwidth and the end of something drastic, like example from a squeeze, and low in volatility. And last, please ensure that the calculation cycle is at 20 and the stock characteristics parameter is at 2, as it's the most generic settings that can be used for most scenarios. So if you like what you see here, please subscribe and click on the notification bell. We'll see you at the next video.